What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back in the building with another episode of the Shop Podcast. How is everybody doing this weekend? We are fresh off a week hiatus. I know you guys missed us. We missed you too, but we got another fire guest as we always do every week. But before we get started, before we go around the panel and talk to our guests here and get started with the topics, once again, hit the like button as you file in. Subscribe to the channel. Please show support. You guys are amazing. The channel has grown so much in the last couple months. I appreciate you guys. Continue support every single week. Super Chat is live. If you want to do that, completely fine. If not, I just appreciate you guys showing up, showing support like you guys always fucking do. So now that that's all out of the way, let's go ahead and just get to the show. We're going to start with our guest of the hour. Now, this woman, scum queen with all due respect. Okay, we're going to put some respect on it today. So shout out to you, Luca, for hanging out with us. Let everybody know, if they don't already know, where they can find you at, your show. Just give a couple quick details about what's going on with you. Oh.
Luca,
is she there? Uh-oh. I don't know if
she's on mute.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
You're good. Don't worry about it.
I got all into it too, only to realize that I was muted. Okay, anyway, hello guys. My name is Luca, also known as @TheAshAndLuca. I run a podcast called Scumcast where we deal with a variety of topics, mostly gaming, sometimes entertainment, sometimes politics, sometimes music. So we have a lot of fun over there. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, this is not our first time. So you
guys
you guys go check back in the archive. It's been a little while, but we greatly appreciate you, Luca. Once again, I got all of her information in the description below. If you guys are a fan of the show, please go check her out. Show us support. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you guys every single week for showing up, showing out. Once again, thank you for spending a little time with us here today, Luca. You're amazing. One of my favorites. I don't watch a lot of podcasts, but I do follow what you're doing with the Scumcast every week, and I appreciate the content you put out. So thank you for hanging out with us once again.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem. So just let me go ahead and get to this before I get to my fellows here. Got a quick $5 super chat from Z Back Rider. Shout out to you, brother. Says, slow down, gotta go check my pizza dough. Man, come on now, brother. You done had the pizza dough in a timer, Z? Nah, it's all good, bro. We're gonna keep this thing rolling though, man. Don't burn your pizza though. You can step away. We'll have the link up for the replay later. So whatever you miss, bro, do not burn your pizza. All right. Do not do that on my behalf. But thank you for hanging out. Once again, Luca, you're amazing. Thank you for chilling out with us. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Not a problem at all. As you guys can see, we are down one of the three amigos. Shout out to Stag. He was not feeling well today. So shout out to him. Send him your positive energy. He got pretty bad migraine. So I know he's probably watching. If Chris shows up, I'm sure he'll jump in the chat as soon as Chris gets here. So headache or not, he's gonna want that smoke for sure. But anyway, let's go ahead and do this too real quick. $2 super sticker for the mod of the year. Shown to appreciate your love and support, bro. You here every week hanging out with us, modding the show, man. Been here since day one. Let's go ahead and get to the compadres here, man. Let's start with you, Centurion. How you been? It's been a week since we've been on doing this thing. What's been up with you, brother?
Oh man, what is up? It is happy Saturday. It's gonna be a great show. I have actually met Luca before, and I don't think this is the first time we've actually done a show though. And
it's not.
So it's not?
No.
What other show did I do with you? Forgive me.
I can't remember, but I know we've done a show together.
I think it may have been TSGP.
You know what? It might have been that.
So, but either that.
What other shows have you? I've been on literally everybody's shows. So.
I know, actually, that's where I picked up on her the most. Is let me see. So we got Crossfire. Obviously, Craps podcast on Wednesdays. TXR.
I've never been on TXR.
No, never been on TXR.
No.
See, I have podcasts with too many people too. It's all starting to blur together. Either way, it's always great to meet somebody else though that does it, and I know who you are. I've actually heard you a few times over the years for sure.
Yeah, I know who you are too, man. So it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I remember one time me and Dealer were hanging out playing on Xbox, and then you showed up, and that's how I actually first met you, was through Dealer.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes, Dealer's the bro.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Dealer! What a character Dealer Gaming is. If you ever got to put in a party chat with Dealer Gaming, it gets real fun at that point.
Yeah, he's great.
But no, it is Saturday night. It's time to have fun, play some games, and kick it with the homies. And oh my God, what a week it has been. Geez, let's just talk about some games and how people kind of forget about the other stuff that's gone down.
Yeah, let's get into it. We're going to definitely dive into it, but you know what we got to do? It's time to smooth things out. We got to get to Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere first, man. How you been, Fuzz? We had a week off, bro. You know, we've been going consistent for like 10 months in a row. We haven't taken really good time off, so it's kind of nice to get a little bit of a break, but we're back. How you been, bro?
Been doing great. Glad to have Luca here.
Oh, yes.
Was out on GRG with K Mega and his crew. Shout out to K Mega. And if you're a fan of this podcast, definitely check them out on Fridays. But man, just so much stuff, gaming wise and otherwise. But I don't want to take up too much more time. Let's get right into gaming. Let's go.
All right, man. Well, let's dive in. Once again, let everybody know that the Shop Podcast is live. Retweet that link on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Hit that like button. Once again, just as a reminder, Super Chat is open. If that's something you want to do, awesome. If not, I appreciate you just watching, being here, hanging out with us, man. So let's dive right in. So you guys know how we start. Poll of the week every single week. If you're not sure what that is, I put up the poll every single Monday. We talk about it here on the Shop Podcast on Saturday. So we're diving in this week. So this week's poll was the next generation of consoles is right around the corner. Once you get a PS5 and or Xbox Series X or S, will you ever go back and play the old console? So I guess I will start. So I guess, before we dive in, let me get to the results. No, 69% no. 31% yes. So an overwhelming majority of people don't ever go back and play the old consoles. I'm on the side that don't. I don't really ever go back, especially with BC being so prominent. You can take everything with you. I think this generation will be probably the first time I never even go back and touch the old system. So that's just me. I know some people like the nostalgia. Some people like to keep it hooked up. I mean, I might actually, you know what? I take that back because I might leave it hooked up for the kids or something like that because there are going to be some cross-gen games that we're still able to play together. And like you said, financially, if you can't really afford it, it just makes sense. So let's go ahead and just start with our guest of the hour, Luca. Do you ever, once you get these new consoles, do you ever go back and play the old consoles at all?
No, it's over, man. Like listen, my PlayStation 4 has been sitting here for months. Ever since I got my One X, I've been like, yeah, I'm not going back, man. And the PlayStation 4 Pro wasn't enough of an upgrade to get me to get that. So once I get my PlayStation 5, it's a wrap. My PlayStation 4 will continue to collect dust. My Xbox One X is going to start collecting dust once I get my Series X. It's over for that, man. I'm never going back. Especially with that 60 frames. Nah, I'm out.
Are you going to trade them in, though, or are you just going to keep them?
No, I'll keep them. I don't ever trade anything in or sell things.
Okay. All right. That's respect. You know what? I used to do it all the time in the 360 generation. I was a cheapskate. I would stay trading games. I told myself when this new not this generation, but the previous one we're coming out of started that I would not trade or sell any games, and I haven't. So that used to be a real bad habit. And I would just trade games and consoles just to try and get credit and things like that. But you never get what the actual stuff is worth any damn way. So I feel you on that, Luca.
Doesn't everybody go through that phase?
I don't know.
It's kind of like a phase where you just go through that period where you just like you basically you just trade anything and everything until you're finally like, dude, what am I doing? Why?
Yeah.
I might as well just keep it.
At the end of the 360 generation, I had like 3 games. Call of Duty was 2 games. The other one was like Halo. That because I just continued to constantly trade games in, and I only really played Call of Duty back in the 360 days, besides Halo and other things like that. So that's a great.
I've never done that before.
Really?
I've never traded anything in. I've never sold anything I've bought. Like even if I stop using stuff, I'll keep it even if it's collecting dust. So.
Wow. Okay. You're a bit of a collector. Wow. I don't know about that, Luke. I
went through that phase where I sold stuff.
Yeah, I think I'd be too tempted to just go ahead and get rid of it, especially if it's just gonna sit there. I mean, I don't know. That's just me, Luke. At the end of the day, I mean, so is it just more of a nostalgia? Is it just kind of like I invested a lot of time in that? Is that the reason why you don't ever do that?
No, I'm too lazy to do it, dude. It seems like too much of a hassle. And I know it's just like taking it in. I'm just like, nah, I don't feel like doing it. So
hey, we like to be 100%. I appreciate the honesty. Thank you for that. So I stay trading things in. But okay, cool. All right, cool. Great warm up there. Let's go ahead and just transition on to you, Centurion. Where you at, man? So when these new consoles are coming out, obviously, that's next week for Xbox and then the following week for PlayStation. Are you gonna go back and play the old systems at all?
Oh, probably not, but I'm not going to sit there and say it'll never happen, purely because I'm going to have the Series X in the living room, and we're going to keep the Gears 5 Xbox One X, and we're going to put that in the bedroom. And at that point, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Am I ever going to play it again? I don't know. I really don't know. I kind of bought the Gears 5 Xbox One X as that showpiece that will eventually end up on my entertainment center, because I also have a PS3 up there. I don't have a power cord and stuff to it, but there's actually a Gen 1 PS3 with the SD slots in it with the pre-built backwards compatibility.
Fat Boy?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The Fat Boy.
Okay.
That's got the little magical secret door that has the SD slots in it, and it came from PlayStation with backwards compatibility already built into it. That thing was given to me by my boss. He was gonna basically give it to Goodwill, and I was like, "Oh heck no, I'll take that," because he was just literally cleaning out his closet, and it was just in a box. He didn't have the cables for it.
Nice. That was a good come up, man.
Right. So like, I want to put it on my entertainment center, but I can't deny the fact that these things are still UHD players.
That's true.
This thing is going to be the best streaming box. Like, I'm sorry, this thing still has functionality as a streaming box. A high definition Blu-ray player. It can basically kind of become the backbone of someone's entertainment center without having to, shall I say, having to use your console to do that. Because, some people don't want to keep their console constantly running.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that's, once again, I'm the same way. As well as I'm not much of a collector. I don't really have a collection. Like, only thing I really do collect, and I know this is a horrible habit, I have like 20 Xbox One controllers for some reason. I don't know why.
That's just how it works if you're an Xbox fan. Yeah, you gotta have controllers just everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bad habit.
I have a bunch laying around myself, so.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I keep every time I see one that I even remotely like, I'm like, yeah, let me go ahead and get that one.
Yeah,
and then you buy it and put it on a shelf, and you just stare at it, and you go back to the controller you've been abusing for
that's
the longest time.
I bought that Cyberpunk controller. I took it out, took my little pictures for the Twitter. And then I put it back in the box and was like, all right, dope, great, yes, love it.
You haven't used it at all? I don't think she's using controller.
I use my Elite Series 2 controller for everything.
Okay, nice. All right, fellas, we're going to go ahead and slide this over to you, bro. Do you plan on, with the advent of BC being so prevalent, with BC, everything being able to for the most part, for both consoles, everything being able to kind of carry over, do you ever go back, or are you planning on going back and playing the old systems once we switch over?
This time, no. Like previous gens, I've gone back. Like I kept my PS3 for the longest time, and I think I got my fill out of playing like Resistance and what was it, MotorStorm and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but after I think I actually gifted it to one of my sons because he won NCAA 14. So after that, it became his. So I still have the collection of games in the entertainment center, but even the ones that he didn't want right off the bat. But yeah, for the most part, my X1X. Well, I'm going to keep the X1X. It's going to go back in a box. The boys OG Xbox One. That's probably going to get sold to friends or family or something like that don't have a console. Like I sold one of the other OG Xboxes a while ago to a coworker for like $50 because for that one I would have probably gotten a little less from GameStop for it.
Yeah,
so it was like, well, he wants a console in between the new ones coming out. And he's probably not going to get a new one right when they come out. So yeah, $50, take it. It's just collecting dust right now. But this go around, after I get my PS5, if I can get a PS5, that PS4 is just it's done. It's going to be a dust collector. The one that's downstairs, it's my wife's Netflix streaming box. That one will stay where it's at. But as far as my Xbox One X, it's going in a box, and because I would say next to my Sega Genesis, that's probably my second favorite console I've had. So. But
nice.
Yeah, no need to go back for me at least.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it depends on too. It's like what your situation is. Like some of us have kids, some of us don't. It makes sense if you have a wife doesn't really play a ton of video games, maybe watches Netflix and Disney Plus, that type of stuff, it's the best. I mean, forget buying like a Roku. You might as well just get, a system, because it can do a little bit of everything. If she happens to want to play a video game with the kids, they can also do that. So it just makes sense. They're so multifaceted as far as these consoles. So I think I'll probably keep one just to have, like I said, because not everybody's getting a Series X.
See, I talked to GameStop today, and from what I found out, they're giving you at least $175 for an Xbox One X.
Oh, okay. That's not a bad.
Like considering a Black Friday price on one of those consoles is like $300. You're getting, I understand there's people out there like, oh, I bought the console for $500. Yeah, I bought the console for $500. Actually, I take that back. The one that I would trade in if I did it was $300. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm just like, well, technically.
Yeah. No, but it makes sense. Like I said, I think it just depends on everybody's situation. So let us know once again, chat. Are you planning on going back to play these old consoles once these new systems come out? Yay, nay, let us know in the chat. Once again, smack that like button. And before I keep going, let me just show some quick love and appreciation in the chat. Shout out to Zinc, UK Daz. That boy Daz, he been hanging out with me all day for sure. Shansu, Big Lou, Indy, everybody crashing the party here. Everybody watching live that's not in the chat, appreciate the support. Once again, hit the like button. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. And this is a good one, because as soon as I saw this shit, I definitely wanted to dive into this. So I'm going to be talking about, this is kind of a twofold question. Part of the question is, we're talking about the new COD Black Ops Cold War, okay? We just found out the size of this the game is massive. I think you need at least 286 gigs worth of space to even download the game. I don't know if that includes future DLC, or they're just kind of giving you like a heads up, this is what you're going to need, or if that's the complete game, the complete game as we get it when it drops. The second part of that question, before I get to you, Luca, is with that being, I won't say it's a precedent set, but with games being large, and just to put that into perspective, I just saw the size of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, an open world third-party game. It's 45 gigs. That is ridiculous compared to a shooter. So is this something that you can see going forward, Luca, causing issues as far as storage? Is this isolated to Activision? We know Activision, the gigantic updates already on Xbox and PlayStation, the 30 gig updates, all kind of craziness. So how do you think about that as far as Call of Duty being that size? Secondly, what do you think about storage going forward based on, what we're already seeing?
Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily say it's like something to be concerned about right now. As stated, Activision and Call of Duty, I don't know what they're doing with that game, but like, people, it's like a meme at this point. It's a joke at this point. When it comes to Call of Duty, you just continue to add on to it every time you log on. Hey, you need to re-download this, or there's an update to this, and it's going to be 100 gigs, or like the game is just huge, and especially in comparison to all the other titles. Demon's Souls is like 60 gigs.
Yeah.
Miles Morales is like 50. Like it's not even close. It's not comparable. So I definitely think it's something with Activision and the way that they are not compressing their game files. And as it stands right now, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But at the same time, these games are cross-generation. So maybe as we go further into the gen, the games will be bigger and bigger, depending. And when we don't have to account for previous gen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But that is obscenely huge. I don't know what, I mean, has there ever been a game? I haven't seen a game this entire generation even close to that, Luca. You tell me if I'm wrong. As far as like space,
it's probably Call of Duty, dude. The other Call of Duties were definitely that size.
Yeah, if you include all of the updates, you're right. Because I mean, every time I boot up Call of Duty Warzone, my son gets ready to play. It's a 20 gig update. I'm like, son, you're not playing this game. I'm sorry, I'm getting rid of it because it's ridiculous. Like, you're not going to take up all the space on this hard drive. Like, it's ridiculous. So, and I don't know about you said compression potentially as far as the file sizes, but how can you explain Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a gigantic open world game? I think they even said it was the biggest game that they've made so far. I think as far as what they said about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, 45 gigs compared to a first person shooter being like 7 times as big. How can you justify that?
Like I said, I definitely think it's something on their end. Like, take for instance, I'm just looking at this news now. So on the Series S, Sea of Thieves is 17 gigs, but on the X, it's 47. Dirt 5 is 56 on the S, 72 on the X, 30 Gears 5 is 39 on the S, and 64 on the X. So I don't know what Activision's fucking doing. Like I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good take. I don't know either. I mean, that's why we're here. That doesn't make any sense to me. As soon as I saw that, I thought it was fake. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this has to be fake. There's no way that's actually the size or as much space as you need on the console. Let's go ahead and just roll this over to you, Fuzz. What do you think, man, when you saw that? Two-part question once again. The original size of the actual game. Remember, Call of Duty, first-person shooter. We're not getting no damn Call of Duty open world RPG. We're not getting that. So versus storage going forward. And and I didn't even bring this up to Luca. I know Xbox, we have a proprietary card that we have a additional storage option. I know Sony doesn't have one as of yet. So I wanted to throw that in there too, about that as well going forward in storage. So go ahead, Fuzz.
Well, when it comes to Xbox, it's a little concerning only because for my kids, I bought them Xbox Series S's. So those things only are going to have like 360 or something like that. Yeah, it's over 2/3 just for the one game. And I already had that conversation with them. I was like, hey, what games are we getting right off the bat? Like I already got Watch Dogs, already got Assassin's Creed, and kind of went down the list to make sure what else they wanted. And they're like, oh yeah, Cold War. And it's like, making sure, all right, you don't want Dirt, you don't want this, I'll probably get this game. Or they're like, nah, we're not going to play that. So I'm like, okay, thinking, ahead to make sure that there'll be enough space to have the actual game on their Xbox Series S. But for the X, at least for me, I don't think it's going to be as bad of a deal. I'm probably just going to download the campaign aspect of it. I don't know how big of a break it's going to be just doing the campaign. I don't do as much of the multiplayer as they do. They mainly do the multiplayer, although I guess they'll start the campaign first, get their achievements, and then move on to the multiplayer. But man, they definitely need to work on some things as far as their disk space that they take up. It's like you have all these packets, and if you go from, hey, I want to do this multiplayer, but I want to do Warzone, then it's like, oh no, you, like Luca was saying, you need another 100 gig update to just do that. And it's like, well, I just played it 2 days ago. Why do I need 100 more gig or 100 gig update for something I just played 2 days ago? But it's, I don't know. I'm glad we have the option as far as the little card or the SSD plug-in type of deal. Hopefully Sony has that firmware thing right off the bat within like a week or two or a couple of days if possible. But I think unless the person wants to put like every game they may already own on their internal, I think we'll be fine for now. It's just, anybody with an Xbox Series S is going to either have to get that card or they're just going to have to decide not to put anything more than like 2 or 3 games on that internal, at least to start.
Okay. And I wanted to throw that at you too, Luca, because I didn't get a chance to throw that question at you too, just about the storage options going forward for both. Like you said, the S, obviously that's going to be a problem, in general for the S because of the small amount of space. And as well, I mean, on the Sony side of things, they don't have an additional storage option. And we know, I believe the Sony storage is even less than what the X is. I think it's like 660 something is going to be the internal for the PS5 or somewhere around that. So what do you think, in those two specific situations, Sony not really having that additional option, and then like the Series S having a really small hard drive?
Well, I think for both systems, play your games and then delete them. I mean, I really think that's what it comes down to. Keep the games that you're going to continuously play, like the Call of Duty for the multiplayer. Keep those on your hard drive. But everything else, especially if it's a single player game, actually play your games and then delete it, and then you're good. Don't keep it on your drive like, oh, I'll come back to this later. You ain't coming back to it. Just delete your stuff. I don't think it's a problem as it stands right now. I mean, we all knew that the storage space was going to be low from the jump. Like, who gets a new device and doesn't already know that part of that storage is going to be taken up by the OS? You know what I mean?
Good point.
It is what it is in that regard. So I don't really think it's a problem. I think people should wait, And then as for like the proprietary, the thing of it is like that SSD is expensive. So I think a lot of people are going to want to wait for that too. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm right with you, Luca. I don't think a lot of people are going to buy that right off the jump. Maybe, I don't even know if are they already available to purchase? I didn't even double check. Are those proprietary cards available already?
You're allowed to pre-order them.
You can pre-order them. Okay, so you can pre-order. Okay, cool. So they'll be available, I guess, about time the system drops to buy.
I think they're gonna come out same day.
Same day? Okay, that will be cool. But I mean, maybe we get them on sale a little bit later on down the line. But I know they did say. I think Jason Ronald came out and said that there's going to be other people making. They may not just use Seagate. There may be some other companies making them that may be a little cheaper. As time goes on, I'm sure the price will go down on those as well. So, but yeah, I'm with you, Luca. You got to be smart with your space.
Yeah.
Got to be smart with your space. Whatever you don't play single player games, play the single player game, beat it, get it out of there, because you're not gonna have a lot of space. And then, like you said, Luca, you got to take into account updates. These games, a lot of these games are games of services. They're going to be games that are going to be continually updated. So you got to include that as well. So Luca giving you advice, you dropping dimes, people better pick it up. Come on now. Pick it up. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. So just get your opinion, man, on just the Call of Duty. The fact that it's gigantic for seemingly no reason. None of us know why it's that big. I have no idea why the game is that big. And then as far as the next gen storage options compared to what we're seeing going forward.
So again, I don't like, how could I say it? I don't like to be a know-it-all. I just like to kind of learn about a situation and at least kind of give back what I read. So apparently, for starters, when it comes to Call of Duty Cold War, the game is 215 gigs fully installed, but the game needs at least 175 to work. So the game is going to be at least 175. Now, I'm assuming that's probably more than likely with just the campaign mode installed, because the larger file sizes from these games, according to what I've read, has to do with frame rate. So the more compressed you make a piece of data, the more I believe it was the CPU has to actually work harder to actually basically uncompress it. And so that can actually affect frame rates. So if you leave the file sizes relatively uncompressed, you won't have as many frame rate dips. And we all know how important frame rate is on online multiplayers. So I guess that you could say that's a very valid argument for it. I'm pretty sure they could probably get the file sizes a little bit smaller. But at least from the majority of the stuff I read, they said it had something to do with frame rate. But I don't it's kind of funny. I only play Call of Duty for the campaigns anyways, most of the time. Because for some reason I find the multiplayer very, very, oh my God, gives me a headache after a while, especially after, because there's people that play it way more, but that play it a lot more than me. So you can only kind of take that kind of punishment for so long. But on to your storage options that you guys were talking about. So it sucks that Microsoft actually chose to use the NVMe technology for their their hard drive solution. Same with PlayStation. They used a little bit better version of it, but if you actually look at the cost of this technology, it kind of falls in line with how much this should actually cost. I know eventually they're going to come down in cost. I would probably wait until that thing was like $50 cheaper before I'd probably say that thing's starting to dip down into I guess a category of where I'd be interested in purchasing
the proprietary cards.
The proprietary cards, because I've already found myself wanting to get another SSD for my Xbox. I had to use my SSD for my Xbox for something for work, and I sometimes actually miss having an SSD hooked up to my Xbox One X, and a proper SSD for an Xbox One X is about $1.50. So I was like, if I wait long enough, I could probably pick up one of these proprietary cards for probably 170, 180.
Hopefully at some point it'll be that price. I mean, I don't know if it's that, because it's going to take a little time for those prices to drop. I mean, I don't anticipate those prices dropping for, maybe summertime next year, at the to me, I don't know anybody else here on the panel, but I don't see those prices dropping on that until there's a realistic additional option, because right now Seagate is the only people making them, right? As far as I know,
right? You would have to see more competition, more companies actually duplicating the technology, and basically more than just Seagate selling it.
Yeah. No, so I completely understand where you guys are coming from. So yeah, once again, people, the key to the story, the moral of the story, I mean, is delete your games. Please, the games you're not playing, you're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna want to play, what you're gonna want to keep on your hard drive. Obviously, you can swap things off a hard drive, reinstall things, put it back on a hard drive. So you got some options here. But once again, people, you got to be smart about what you're doing with your games, man. Shout out to Indy too in the comment section making them indie jokes. I told you can't quick scope in Celeste or in Dead Cells. Anyway, man, let's go ahead and keep this thing moving. Appreciate the continued support here. You guys are fucking amazing. Showing up, getting the chat lit. Appreciate
hit the like button.
Yeah, hit that thing too. Do what she says. We gotta appreciate Luca being here, man. She's hype.
Yes, let's do it next week. Start of the new generation, man. We're gonna get these systems. It's about to get in. I cannot wait, man. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla first. Then I'm gonna play some Destiny Beyond Light, and then as soon as I find a PlayStation, man, I'm playing Demon Souls.
It slows down when you get to the PlayStation part because we know good luck getting one.
I know. I'm so upset about that, dude. But I just, oh god.
Bit frustrated. But we'll keep it moving. We'll all eventually get what we need in due time. We got plenty to play, so let's go ahead and keep this thing moving. Let's move on to the next topic. So this is a fun one. This is something that we've talked about on this show multiple times the last 3 or 4 years. So essentially, just a rumor. I did see a tweet and or article talking about possibility of Ryse 2. I think it was some Crytek information or just a tweet regarding Crytek specifically. So I know we've talked about that being a game that if they did it, I mean, the game was phenomenal. The game graphically looked amazing. It still holds up till this day. It still holds up. The gameplay was a bit repetitive, obviously. They would have had to tweak the story, but just put a little more into the game, change it a little bit. It could be a heavy AAA tentpole kind of game that they can build on. So, Luca, we're going to start with you. First of all, did you even enjoy the first Ryse, and what do you think about a possibility of a second Ryse? Because people have been asking about that. I mean, I don't know how big the crowd is, but I think it's a game that fits Xbox. I mean, they don't really have a game like that. I mean, I think it fits perfectly in the as far as a variety and catalog. So where are you at? Do you think that's something they could use, or do you not even care much about Ryse at all, or the potential of a new one?
Okay, so I didn't play the first Ryse, so I don't really have like a perspective on this.
Okay.
You know? But I have seen that it is something that people are super excited about, like K-Mega, he's talked about it a lot. So I know that there are fans for it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with getting a sequel. I think, in fact, giving the game a chance to grow would be great. I think there's a lot of intrigue there in regards to the base story that they can grow. So that would be, I think it would be great, but you know, people have been talking about this Ryse sequel for years now. So I don't know, man. I just don't know.
It's a bit scary. It's so people got to understand, Luca. People act like they get amnesia, and I don't know why this happens on Twitter, but people just get amnesia overnight. You got to remember, Xbox actually did not OG Xbox, but Xbox One 2013. They actually had a good damn lineup. If you look at the launch lineup, a lot of new games, a lot of new IPs. Ryse was one of them. All of those games they're essentially sacrificial lambs. They got caught up in everything that was going on with the Xbox. So a lot of those games didn't even really get a chance to get off the ground. It was TV. It was price. It was all of that. Xbox was just trying to dig themselves out of a hole. So I am not even upset that you didn't play the game because a lot of people missed it just because they didn't even want to touch the Xbox at the time or had one and didn't really get a chance to play it. So it was a great launch game, though, and the Xbox One actually has an underrated launch lineup. So you should probably go back and play that, Luca. I know at one point it was free. I think they gave it away for like one of the games with golds free. I don't know how much it is now. I don't know I don't think it's in Game Pass. I'm pretty sure is it? Is it in Game Pass at all? I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. Not right now. I think it was at one point, though.
Yeah, I think it was at one point. So yeah, Luca, I don't know if you would even think about going back and playing, but it's a fun game. It's a great game. It's a bit repetitive, like I said, as far as combat goes, but the story was great. Graphically, it's amazing. The settings, the world was gorgeous. It still holds up. If you put it on a 4K TV right now, that thing still look beautiful. So do yourself a favor, Luca, if you ever get a chance, which is probably not going to happen because we got new consoles coming out pretty soon, but yeah, maybe watch a YouTube video over this something. But it's a great game for real. Just got caught up in all of the BS that was happening with Xbox around that time. Just like Sunset and all those other games didn't really get a chance to flourish. But Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Luke. It's a lot of polish, a lot of new things added. It could be a phenomenal franchise. So let's throw this over to you, Fuzz. I kind of know how you feel about this. We've been talking about it for years on this podcast, man. So what do you think? I mean, the rumor, is that something that they can do? I know Crytek's been kind of back and forth. They were having financial issues at one point, and then they kind of went AWOL, and I don't even know what's going on with them at this point.
When they had that Hunt Showdown game, or before Hunt Showdown was announced as like a kind of like a time console exclusive or so, a couple of E3s ago, I had hoped that Crytek was working on like a Ryse 2. Not that there's anything bad particularly as far as from what I've seen, although I didn't really play much of the beta with Hunt Showdown. I've had my hopes up for a Ryse 2, although with this rumor, it sounds like it was in the works. I don't know how likely it is to continue. There is, I guess, more of a Crisis 2 and Crisis 3 possibility as far as a remaster, but a Ryse 2 would be huge. Well, I wouldn't say huge for me, but it would definitely, fill that hacker slasher type of itch that I have when it comes to a lot of games. Like if you look at like was it Ghost of Tsushima, I really love that game, played right through it, and haven't done as much of the multiplayer aspect of it right now, but that was a phenomenal game considering how early on that Ryse was. That's one of the first games I started playing when I got my Xbox One.
Yeah,
I originally started with a PS4, and I got that game, and the QTEs, but after a while, you just know, okay, the guy is glowing yellow, hit him with the Y button, you're hitting him with the shield, stab him through the neck, decapitate him, or chop his arm off. I mean, yeah, it's it's a little gruesome, but just having that level of hack and slash type of deal for me at least was a good bit of fun. I think a Ryse 2 with having possibly some of the god powers and stuff that they had for the arena and the multiplayer incorporated in the main story, possibly a horseback combat, mix all that in there, and that to me and mix up the variety or the look of some of the enemies. Because I know that was, things that people kind of nitpicked at. It's 900p and all the enemies look the same. No, there's like 4 or 5 enemy types. Yeah, it's a bit repetitive in that regard, but just playing through it where you're, mowing down enemies or having to learn the techniques of, this new enemy type or boss type that's moving differently and stuff like that was a lot of fun for me. So I would definitely be happy if they could make a Ryse 2. But I'm not holding my breath because I know there's been some back and forth between them and Microsoft, and the Hunt Showdown thing I was hoping would rekindle that, relationship. I don't know if that moved the needle enough to help, the future, but
we'll definitely
fingers crossed.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. We don't know what's going on with Crytek. Like I said, it's just a rumor. Ultimately, it would definitely fit the catalog. Like you said, I mean, and I don't like to do the whole this game versus this game on another console because every game is its own individual game. But it's something that can compete with the likes of a God of War potentially, or something along those lines if done properly. You know what I'm saying? Not that it would directly compete, but it'd be nice to have as part of the catalog. So it fits as to what Xbox needs. So I agree. I mean, I think the game has a great foundation. Like I said, it still holds up to this day visually. It's a beautiful game. Crytek did a damn good job. Graphically, the game ran very well. It wasn't buggy. Didn't really have any of those type of issues. I think that Xbox could greatly benefit from that. Not that it's absolutely needed, but it could definitely help as far as variety. So we're gonna throw in a bonus question at the end. I just thought of something, Luca. So I'm adding a question mentally for you, specifically for you at the end of the show. All right, so just keep that in mind. Just wanted to let you marinate on that for a second. But Centurion, you're gonna love it, I promise. So Centurion, it's on you, bro. What do you think about Ryse 2, man? I mean, something that you'd like to see, realistic? Where you at on that?
Realistically, I wouldn't mind playing it. Regretfully, it was not my cup of tea when I first got my Xbox. So it was actually a game I didn't get to play until it was actually given to me in Games with Gold. And then I kind of was like, wow, I missed this. This is actually a really good game. I did enjoy the combat system. I could see the complaints from people about how you'd kill the same guy multiple times. But still, I mean, it was a really good game. crap, I even enjoyed the story, the setting of everything. It would be really good to see how they would do a second one. And we all know how it was like a showcase for Xbox back in the day, and it's actually held up over time. So definitely it'd be great to see who could kind of create a game that still be held on that level. I really can't go too much further than Fuzzy, because I mean, Fuzzy hit the nail on the head. You know, the combat itself was just a very gratifying combat, especially it's kind of funny, you know, decapitation and the whole limb removal. And we're about to start seeing that again in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah. So that's dope. Yeah. And once again, just another game that, you know, kind of takes, you know, cues from Ryse. You know, not that it's even the same kind of game, but Ryse was doing that in 2013. You know what I'm saying? So it did it beautifully, by the way. That decapitation and, you know, cutting arms and shins and all that kind of stuff was amazing at the time. So yeah, man, I definitely would like to see. I think we're all on the same page. No, it's not going to hurt the portfolio at the end of the day. So if Xbox can get it done, obviously it's not 100% up to them. Crytek, get your shit together. You need to get it together, bro. I don't know what's going on with you over there, but they need to get it together. The Xbox got bread. You ain't got to worry about the money part. Just get the game, get a good idea, and we can get this thing going. But either way, man, let's go ahead and keep these topics rolling, man. I'm definitely going to leave enough time because I got a bonus question specifically for Luca. Once again, everybody, appreciate the love and support. Hit the like button. Share the link on Twitter. Let everybody know the Shop Podcast is live. Get in here, have some fun. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's been hanging out with us. So another fun question. I always like to do these side kind of odd questions just to kind of mix things up because, to be honest with you, Luca, we all talk about the same shit every week. So it's 20 shows a week, so I like to switch things up a little bit. So last question, essentially, before we get into this bonus topic. So what's the one game you kind of beat yourself up, essentially, about not finishing? Because we all got a backlog, Luca. We all got a backlog. There's no denying we all got a bunch of games that we got super hyped about, played them, you know, partially, never got back to them. There's some that we've never, ever gotten back to. So do you have any game like that, Luca, that's just been sitting there staring at you when you turn your Xbox on, like you need to finish it?
It's not for my Xbox, for the PlayStation 4, God of War.
What? Really?
Yeah, see, this is what happened, right? Okay, so I had played Persona 5 right before God of War came out, and I played it, like, I put 228 hours into it, right?
Holy shit.
By the time I was done with Persona 5, I was like, I don't even want to look at a single player game. I was sick. I was disgusted. I was like, I can't do it, man. So I actually, like, it drained the life out of me. So I was like, I took a break from gaming after that, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so God of War is definitely one. That seems like it's a great game, and it sucks I missed out on it because I was fatigued. So
yeah, you have it. You have it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh Lord have mercy. But I didn't know. 20. You said 200. How many hours in Persona 5?
228.
Oh my goodness, girl. Lord have mercy. All right.
That game was amazing. That game was amazing.
I can see why you were drained afterwards. You binged on that thing, girl. Jesus Christ. Okay. So God of War, that's actually pretty surprising. Most people, it's not a long game. God of War is not a there's no DLC. The game is what would you say, Fuss? 40 hours? Something like that?
I have a confession. I haven't finished it either.
Goodness.
I'm about halfway through. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you have to understand, for me, at the time I was a Forza and Division guy. So it was it's all right, let me log on to Forza, get my cars that are the new ones for the week, and then hop on Division, make sure I get my gear. And then it was like, all right, I'm gonna play, God of War. And it's like, boy, and it's like, I don't feel like yelling at the kid for doing something stupid. All right, back to Division. And I like the game because it also has the hack and slash aspect of it, but it didn't hook me quite as fast as Ghost of Tsushima did. So I still probably have about maybe 12 hours left to it. So I'm halfway through it at least.
Okay. All right. So that's God of War would be your choice as well.
No, there's actually a bigger one that, my fraud card.
Here we go.
Witcher 3.
Excuse me?
That's listen before I
let I'm just going to hand my controller out.
Yeah, I know.
No, actually, I was going to say that one, but I have a backup one just in case. So I'm actually right there, man. And and the funny part is, if I'm correct by memory, because I checked it out. I think I made it 3/4 of the way through the game.
Okay, so
an already long
I
game.
have to go. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
The walls are closing in.
Before I take the chains off Luca, so you can tear into your ass, bros, all right? Before I let her loose, okay? I understand Witcher 3 is a gigantic game. To be fair, the DLC is bigger than most single-player games. So I understand if you don't have the time, you're a busy parent, you got a full-time job, I get it.
I kind of screwed myself up on that one. The reason being, I originally didn't bother with the game because I didn't pay attention to RPGs as much back then. Got it on disc, played it for a bit, started downloading a lot of the free DLC and stuff. And then before the Xbox One X came out, they were like, oh, there's going to be a new, upgrades and enhancements and things. So I was like, oh, well, I got the disc version. Let me buy the digital version. Well, I bought the Game of the Year version and the save doesn't transfer. So I just got pissed and uninstalled them both for a while. Then I decided to start it over again. And I kind of lost motivation to finish after being, I forget, it was like maybe 20 hours in on the regular version versus the Game of the Year version. So because they didn't have the same save or the save didn't carry over, that just like burned me up. So that I did it to myself basically.
So Luca's excuse was she burnt herself out playing Persona. Yours was you didn't get to your save didn't transfer over. So it wasn't really the game. Like you meant to, I assume you guys both meant to get to it because you bought it. You both meant to get to it. It's just outside influences stopped you guys from being able to play. Okay, I can. So Luca, you got anything to say about the Witcher situation before we move on?
Play it on the Series X. It's 4K 60 frames.
Oh yeah, I will be carrying my Game of the Year version over to that.
Yes,
finishing that.
I want to say that Witcher 3 DLC, Hearts of Stone, the first one that came out, I liked it better than the base game. To be honest, the story was fucking phenomenal. The story was amazing. It was great. I love it so much. The nuance and the choice, I mean, like it just expanded on what was already great about the base game for The Witcher 3. So, but it was like a more focused story. Like The Witcher 3 story was focused, but there's a lot of like twists and turns and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So The Witcher 3 is phenomenal. I beat that game 3 times. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's okay. I can't make that claim. Let me take my fraud card out. I'm throwing my shit on. What's up?
I was gonna say actually because Fuzzy stole mine, I did have a backup one. I wanted to say Days Gone. For me, I played that game almost all the way to the end, and then that was the last time I played on my PS4, and I still have yet to play Spider-Man on my PS4. So that's where I'm just like, I have all this regret. Like, I'm like, oh man, I've got all these exclusives stacked up.
No wonder you have so much anxiety.
There's so much.
You gotta break that out, man.
I do. Well, actually, my big regret of the generation, Anthem.
All right, we're not doing that.
Stagger's not here. I'm sorry, man. I had to sneak it in. I had to sneak it in.
You're not, Luca. Listen, Luca. Anthem gets in every show for the last how long? I don't know.
Too long.
It's over a year now.
At some point. Listen, we're not gonna do that. Anthem 2.0 Game of the Year. Tell them, Luca.
I'm good on that, Chief. That shit is boring.
The funny part is, if we ever did a giveaway, it would revolve around me like, you guys got to definitely write in when you hear the word Anthem dropped on the show.
I don't know. I thought I was gonna get some back on it. Luca let me out. It's all good. It's all good.
Anthem was fun for us. It's just one of those things where they didn't learn from other looter shooters from when they had missteps. Like I know you're huge into Destiny. I was huge into the Division. Each one of those had some bumps in the road. And it was one of those things that Anthem was around, or at least in development supposedly during those times. And it's like those writers or the devs just focused on the paper in front of them, didn't look sideways, didn't look at anything else. And it's like they made the exact same mistakes. And when they were called out on making those mistakes, they didn't even fix them. Well, now they're working on fixing them, but it was like, I mean, it had good, or it had a lot of potential. It's just that there were just some things that they left unfinished. Like their end game wasn't quite.
So this is the thing. So people forget. Luca, you're a big Destiny fan, correct?
Yep.
Huge Destiny fan. I'm a big Destiny fan as well. I played Destiny 1 a shit ton, more than 2. I've just gotten back into 2 recently, really only because it hit Game Pass and it makes sense to play it now. Why not when the DLC's coming to Game Pass as well? Might as well dive into it now. And that's going to transfer over to the new consoles as well. But the thing Destiny did very, very well, Destiny survived. Because remember, Luca, we're not going to sit up here and cap on the podcast. Destiny went through a dry ass spell. It went, especially that first one went through about an 8-month dry spell where there was nothing to play on that thing as far as it was within the game. So the thing with Destiny does, what it built a world. You invested in the world and the story that it built. It has such good lore. That's what hooked me on Destiny. I don't know if it's the same for you, Luca.
I don't care about the lore.
All of that kind of stuff. That's what kind of got me into it. And that's what got me through the dry times of Destiny when I was doing the same shit over every day for 6 months in a row. And there was no new content or anything to play. So I don't know if it's different for you.
No, it's definitely different for me. It became pretty clear early on that they don't care. They did not. They're doing better now with like linking everything together and making sure each expansion makes sense to the story that's being told. But like, it would have had to have been around season 6 of Destiny 2. I think it was season 6 of Destiny 2. That's when I realized that they're like not focusing on the story. They're not even expanding on what happened in Forsaken. So I was like, all right, bet. I don't care about the story anymore. I'm just going to do it for the gameplay, the sweet, sweet loot. And that's pretty much it. And then after a while, for at least 3 or 4 months, I have not been interested in anything like PvE related. I've been doing the PvP stuff. That's a lot of fun. Even though I'm not very good at it, it's a lot of fun. So I enjoy doing that mostly. Like if I log into Destiny, it's to do the PvP stuff. I actually don't even want to go into PvE unless it's like a dungeon or the raid or something.
Got it. Okay.
I actually took a break from Destiny. I've been on it once in the last 2 to 3 weeks, which is great because I'll be ready for Beyond Light on Tuesday. So or I guess Wednesday, since it's going to take some time for it to update. But I'm ready.
Okay. So that's the beauty of looter shooters. Right? They give you a little bit of everything. She could dive in and do the PvP, but that's another thing like that you just pointed out. Just another aspect that even through that dry ass time of Destiny, you still got some PvE you can dive into. There was no aspect of that with Anthem. There was nothing to latch onto. So once you got done doing everything, there was no story. The loot system was broken. There was nothing to hold on to. So people just ran away. So I mean, it is what it is. You didn't even have a decent story that people could keep up with. So just a lot of bad. We didn't even
a lot of missteps. It's really unfortunate because I had been looking forward to it until like I actually played it. I was like, oh, well, actually, when I saw the first, I think it was like the first gameplay beta, and that shit was like broken the entire weekend, dude. I was like, oh no, this game's about to have some problems at launch.
I remember that.
It's gonna be a bad time, dog, and it was.
I feel you. I remember that it was that was tough. People weren't able to get in and actually play. All kind of random shit was happening. So I mean, we'll talk about BioWare in a little bit too, because we got some other shit to talk about related to BioWare, and I know you're gonna love it. I know you're gonna love it. But let's go ahead and keep this thing going. So, who did I miss? Fuzz. Let's get to you as far as. Oh no, we already got you.
Yeah.
Centurion. Games you didn't finish.
Games I didn't. I told you, Days Gone and also Witcher.
Days Gone. Okay, Witcher. All right, sweet.
No, but
go ahead.
No, I was just saying that was pretty much also every PlayStation exclusive that they had come out in the past couple of years. I'm going to be spending months of my life trying to get caught up on PlayStation.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, you might as well just wait for the new one to come out. Ain't no point in doing all of that. Just wait for that PS5 and play.
I know, and I'm not. So, yeah, I did by chance get my hands on one.
A PS5?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so I mean, Luca, hey,
I'm about to get into a fucking fist fight with y'all.
See, like that's what I'm just like. I will say it though, y'all. Okay, so Target tried to take it away. They tried. Trust me, they tried, but yeah, they were trying to be like, yeah, you didn't give us like a proper form of payment, and I'm like, no, there was more than enough money there to pay for that, and don't worry, I had to like hurry up and give them a different card number, and oh my god, I thought for sure I'd lost it.
Oh wow. Yes, man. I'm
Oh
telling
my
you
God. Hopefully I get mine next week. I swear I'm throwing fits if I don't get it next Thursday.
I'm hoping that PlayStation does it like Xbox. Xbox wasn't joking around saying that there was going to be some units available on launch day. The GameStop I talked to today, PTK knows which one I'm talking about. It's like kind of down, it's like in between me and him. I talked to the dude on the phone and, and asking, what's it going to look like? Because I was just curious. He said that there is going to be units in his store, but he said more than likely there's probably going to be less than 10 of each console. So he's just like, yeah, he's even said we don't expect to have very many.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I think all of us realistically should expect to have very, very.
Well, that's why I'm saying if you really want one and it means something to you, grab a pillow and a sleeping bag. You might be on a sidewalk.
Well, I already took time off.
I want a system, but I'm not sleeping on any sidewalks for a secondary console. It's just not happening.
I didn't sleep. One time I put up a camp chair and I threw on some good movies on my phone with some headphones, and I posted up for a good long time in that chair, but not at one time did I sleep on the ground.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm just never gonna do something like that for a system myself personally. So.
Yeah, if Luca's not going there to trade in anything, she damn sure ain't going to stand around.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's not happening. All right, good luck, buddy. Yeah, you can get about that.
I mean, realistically speaking, right? I really want this PlayStation 5 so I can play some Demon Souls. But I think about that and I start to feel a little stressed because I'm supposed to be playing this Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm supposed to be playing Destiny 2. I'm just like, damn, I don't know if I'm even going to have time for that shit. You feel me?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, sometimes they say, sometimes
that's me damage controlling because I don't have a PlayStation 5.
I've got the same thought. It's like I barely play my PlayStation now, and here I'm like, what am I freaking doing right now?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
For me, it's going to fill the hole of me not getting the PS4 Pro. I just have my launch PS4 and still play GT Sport at least once a week. So it's like, I really want this thing now. And I don't know. I already took a day off before they even said, online only. So yeah, I plan on camping out. Well, not really camping. I got my chair and I'm gonna have my Jeep.
Listen, I'm fucking ready. Okay, I'm gonna be up on Thursday. Like, what's good? Let's fucking go. I'm gonna have my sites open. I'm sure many people are as well. And listen. If I don't get the system, I'm throwing a fit. And I'm talking ish. Okay, because I know a bunch of PlayStation guys who bought multiple systems and just so they could upsell them and scalp them. I know some Xbox guys.
I know. I have issues with that.
I have big issues with it too. I know a bunch of Xbox guys who did the same thing for the PlayStation 5. So I'm letting people know now. I'm throwing a fit and I'm talking ish and it's going to be a bloodbath. Okay. I'm throwing everyone under the bus. I'm like, where is my system? Where's my system at?
You're not playing, people. Not playing.
I'll be like, y'all talk about greatness and how this is the best, but not y'all want to fucking scalp? Really?
Okay, dude, the 12th is going to turn into a reenactment of The Division. We're going to have Fuzzy outside a store, all body armored up, just ready to throw down. We're going to have Luca over here, like one of the cleaners getting ready to burn down the city. Dude.
She's not playing, people. She's not playing. Look, hey, I don't know. Sony, get your shit together. Luca needs a PS5. That's all we're saying. Get it together. All right. You can get her address. I'm sure it's not hard. Just get it together. Get her email. Get her assistant, people. We don't want no bloodbath. Not on Twitter. It's not happening. It's been crazy.
I'm definitely going live to talk ish. I do it every time anything goes slightly wrong. That when Gears 5 wasn't working on the launch day, I was like, "Yep, here we go." I made that live stream a private immediately after. I was like, "That wasn't me." I don't know. When I couldn't get my Xbox Series X immediately, I threw a fit. I was like, where is my system at Microsoft? And then I got it later on in the day, but I was throwing fits. Okay. I was having emotional breakdowns, in a joking way, of course.
Yeah,
but it was just I was like, dude, Sony, I want to give you my money. Please.
So let's get to this bonus question, Luca, before I don't want to forget about it. This is very important that we get to it. So we have some big fucking news drop today. All right. BioWare, they had said a couple days ago, in 7 days, keep your head on the swivel. There's something happening today. So obviously we got some huge news about the Mass Effect collection dropping, Legendary Edition. You get all three, a bunch of plus a bunch of other content, obviously all the optimization and upgrades. And they are going to be working on a new Mass Effect as well. So I know, Luca, man, you're a big Mass Effect fan. I saw you on Twitter going crazy. I just want to get your temperature on where you're at as far as this Mass Effect. How excited are you? Are you getting the collection?
Am I getting the collection?
I mean, I know you are, but that's a silly ass question, but that's a rhetorical question. But how excited are you about the overall, and then about the information about the new game that they're working on?
Yeah, no, I'm super hyped for the collection. We've been waiting for this for years now. It's very difficult to go back to Mass Effect 1. That gameplay is atrocious. I mean, I was able to get through it somehow, but I was like, never again. I've played Mass Effect 2 at least 3 times, Mass Effect 3 times, like a huge fan of the franchise. I cannot wait. Those are Mass Effect 2 especially. Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game of all time. So I'm really looking forward to it. As for them coming with a new Mass Effect, I mean, I don't know. They have to show me that they are capable of writing a good story, because so far they get 3 strikes with me and then they're out, baby. Okay. Andromeda, spooky. Okay. Anthem, spooky. Okay. The next game they're working on is the next Dragon Age. If they ruin Dragon Age for me, I'm throwing a fit. Okay. Like, there's a theme here. Fits thrown. Okay. So they have one more chance with me with this Dragon Age. They need to show me what they can do with Dragon Age, and then I'll let you know how I feel about this idea of them having another Mass Effect, because they're looking a little shaky.
Okay, so we're gonna parking lot there. You're right. BioWare does not. They're on quicksand right now. I mean, the thing about BioWare is that they used to be, and Luca, they were one of the top tier devs all last generation. I mean, BioWare could do no wrong. Mass Effect was as big as a game as Call of Duty when it came out. Like, it was that big at one point, and thing to decreasingly get worse and worse as far as the quality of the game. Obviously, Andromeda came out, had some bugs. I know you played it, Fuzz. Fuzz actually really enjoyed Andromeda. I don't know if you want to give up for that, Luca, but yeah, he actually did.
Well, I'm a Star Trek fan, so it was basically like Star Trek in a video game in a way, kind of. It was my first Mass Effect, so
it has the best gameplay. So
yeah. Now here, like, this is what the question I wanted to ask PTK.
Yeah.
With all the problems that we've had with BioWare here recently, and I guess this kind of goes to Luca, what do we expect in a remaster? Or like, do we like that? Well, not a remaster. Whatever they're doing for this legendary trilogy, are we, like, forgive the expression, are we going to get something half-assed, or are we going to get something that is actually what we want?
Okay, so they're updating the textures, the visuals, some of the technicalities, and also the frame rate. So it's going to be 4K 60. I don't know. Like I said, my biggest concern, because I can go back now and play Mass Effect 2 and 3. Like, it's not even a problem. But Mass Effect 1, they need to do something about that gameplay. That gameplay is trash, dude. Like, it is. I mean, it's not unplayable because I did it, but
the gameplay, I wouldn't say is the best, but I would say if you ever want to play the iconic moments with Saren, or being able to even, like, it kind of sucks that you never truly have Rex as one of your squad mates outside of Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I can definitely agree with that. But, like, in my opinion, so, you know, the homie Rex, Garrus, and Tali were my favorite characters from Mass Effect 1, and then they show up in 2 and 3. So, you know, for me, I was just like, all right, cool. But overall, like I said, Mass Effect 2 is my favorite. Mass Effect 2 has my favorite companions overall, you know? Yeah. So, like, I get what you're saying in that regard. So I mean, listen, I'm looking forward to it myself. I love that series. It's great. So
yeah. Okay. So once again, you got to show us something, though, BioWare, because you haven't really. I mean, you're pulling a Ubisoft. I mean, Ubisoft seems to have gotten back on their horse, but they were looking spooky for a while there at the beginning of this generation. They were looking real shaky. You know what I'm saying? So they got to get back on their horse. They were one of the top tier devs, and, you know, people are looking at them a bit sideways nowadays. So we don't know what to expect with this next Mass Effect. For sure, wanted to get that in there. But what I am going to do is take a couple questions before we wrap this show up here. I'll take a couple questions in the chat. So chat right now, throw a couple questions in the chat. We'll answer them, not a problem. You know, we'll do some quick stuff. Now, I do want to just throw, while we're waiting on questions, I want to throw another quick question out there for Luca and just everybody here on the panel as well. So obviously we're going to have a hard time getting a PlayStation 5. We just talked about that. It's gonna be a bit difficult getting a PlayStation 5. So what do you I mean, outside of, we understand what's going on with the world with the pandemic and there being an issue shipping these consoles, and how do you feel about the way each company's handled this so far? Xbox, not necessarily versus, but just the way they've gone about handling the launch of these consoles up until this point. So do you feel like
no, it's been disastrous for both sides. So
you think so? Really?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Because PlayStation, they were like, listen, we promise we're not going to just drop it on you. And that's exactly what they did. And Xbox said, this is exactly what we're doing. And without accounting for the fact that their sites were going to start crashing. Like, obviously, that's going to happen. You're going to get a lot of traffic and your site's going to crash unless you have it set up properly. So the Microsoft store crashed for me. And then every other store crashed for me. Like, the websites just crashed. That's I was mad,
It's actually a tactic for guys that are scalpers, to where they will do something where it's called DDoSing, where you trick a website into thinking that millions of people logged on, and the average website can only hold around a couple 100,000. And so the trick is you DDoS the website to crash it, so you can hurry up and buy everything before other people have a chance. It's actually a tactic used by scalpers.
Yes, and I get that, but considering who Microsoft is, they should have accounted for it.
No, that they should have accounted for.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know, like with Target now,
I know.
Microsoft should have been able to do that because they got Azure. But yeah, that's why, I mean, it was just like, definitely, I just wanted to be like, yeah, it's actually a tactic used by online scalpers.
Yeah, I know about that. I actually took a course for A+ and Net Plus.
Okay, cool. So you get it.
So yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying, like, considering who Microsoft is, I feel like it should have been better accounted for. So I was pretty annoyed with both of them. Like, honestly, it's on me. I was an idiot. I was over here like, I don't know, Sony kind of is looking a little shaky. They're lying about stuff, and then I was like, no. Demon Souls, though, like Demon Souls. Oh my god, I played myself. Honestly, I played myself. I should have just gotten the PlayStation 5 when I had the chance, and now I'm over here like waiting to the last minute trying to get the system. Like, dog, I don't know, man. Like, this is, oh my god.
You see Coop's you see in the chat what Coop just said, Luca?
Yeah, I do see that.
He said he got two PS5s coming. Mm-hmm. You did exactly what we was talking about, Coop. Come on now, brother. You don't need two of them things. Come on now.
Can't play them at the same time.
No, exactly. You ain't got no kids.
One for each hand in the photo.
No, for sure. So let's go ahead and get to the question.
Oh, good, man. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sean Chu, Mod of the Year, threw a question out there. Once again, we're going to take one more question after we answer this one. So he said, will we see a Halo Series X now that we have a Halo delay? So, Luca, we're going to start with you on this one. Are we going to see maybe like a custom console for Halo maybe?
I don't see why they wouldn't. They did one for Gears, so.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Pretty simple. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't either. It makes sense. I mean, that's the least y'all asses can do for us. That's the least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the least they can do for us is to put out a custom console. It's gonna be. I mean, there's a demand for one for sure. I mean, you've already seen one. Shout out to Xbox Hope. He put his picture up. Thing got what, like a couple thousand likes on that thing. Just his version of that. So I mean, come on, there's definitely a demand. Even if it's a limited quantity, you got to do it. It's Halo, man. You got to go all out. So just get yours. Since you're out, you first. What do you guys think about that?
Oh yeah, they're definitely. I won't say definitely, but if they don't, I mean, I already wish that they already did the ID at Xbox as far as was well, not ID, but the controller thing for the consoles. They should probably do that as well. But a Halo one just makes sense. I mean, like you said, they already did the Gears one for the Xbox One X. Why not do a Halo one for the Series X? It only makes sense.
Okay. You had on this, Centurion. What do you think, bro?
Definitely. It'd be a missed opportunity to make some money for sure. And I mean, why not celebrate Halo? And we definitely got the anniversary. Like, a lot of people are speculating that they're going to launch Halo Infinite around the anniversary of Halo. So what better way to celebrate?
Yeah. Okay. So once again, it's to us here on the panel. It's an easy ass question, easy answer. Do it. It's that simple. You don't even have to make a lot of them. It's gonna sell out regardless. I mean, so ultimately, I think that's definitely what they should do. So if we can get one question in here, what's up, Invader? We can get one more question in the chat, guys. We'll take that. Then we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. I don't want to keep Luca too long. Sure, she got other things to do. So let's go ahead and just wait for one more question here. throw that in the chat. Let us know. And once again, let me give a couple quick shout outs too and updates on everybody who's in here. Obviously, shown to, like I said, Invader just popped in. Saw a couple other people as well, a little lower in the chat. Obviously, Bacon. Shout out to Bacon hanging out with us here. But like I said, throw that question in the chat, man. We'll answer that thing. I'm gonna give it like 2 or 3 minutes. If we don't get a question, we're just gonna wrap this thing up. But anything that I missed or you guys just want to talk about real quick while we're waiting on the question, Luca, anything that you guys covered on your show, which I didn't get a chance to see it. Obviously, I'm gonna go watch it, check it out here a little bit later. But anything you guys talked about specifically?
No, I think we're good. Covered the I think you covered the main stuff that went on this week.
Okay, cool. Not a problem. Like I said, I'm gonna give it just a minute or two, and then we're gonna go ahead and keep this thing moving, man. But thank you guys. Like I said, every week the support. You guys are fucking amazing, man. The channel's growing every single week. Thank you guys so much for all of that. You know, a lot of us content creators put a lot of time in. It's all
you didn't hear about the exclusivity with Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Xbox One. I mean, on the Series X.
What?
You didn't hear about how Microsoft got it to be a timed exclusive for 2 days?
Hey, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my God. It's just like, if you really think about it, I had to think about it when somebody did that to me. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, that's right. The PS5 doesn't come out for 2 days.
All right. So I think we got one more question from Bacon. Shout out to Bacon Life. My guy always here hanging out. He said, do you guys think Microsoft will ever upgrade achievements like have a platinum trophy or separate main game and DLC? Now, I'm not an achievement hunter. I don't, to be honest with you, I can give two shits about achievements. They're great. I mean, there's millions of people out there that play the game specifically for achievements. You see it all over Twitter. You see it all on internet. But I don't know. I mean, I think, does it need to have it? I mean, do achievements need an overhaul? I mean, Luca, do you have an opinion on achievements? Or, I mean, do they need to be overhauled? Like, I don't know if
achievements are boring.
Yeah,
I don't care about the numbers. I would prefer to have a trophy or something. I like the way PlayStation does it better personally.
Okay, that's fair. Now, you know what would be cool? I've always thought, Luca, wouldn't it be cool if, you know how you get an achievement score? Wouldn't it be cool if that score could be like converted into like something you can like use? Like, hey, I can get a $10 card for, you know, I don't know, just something cool like that score you worked all of that time to get all these achievements. Maybe you can, you know, use them or translate those into some kind of, I don't know, not currency, but maybe redeem them for something. You know what I'm saying? After earning them, yeah, you still have the nice number up there over your name, but you actually able to redeem them, or I don't know.
You kind of have something like that with Microsoft Rewards. Like they do that now. If you do, like, you can get gamer score, and then it also gives you like Microsoft Rewards score and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to see an update for, as far as achievements, not that I'm an achievement hunter or anything like that, is like time played or continuous playing on certain games. Perfect example, The Division. I 100% of the game, did all the daily quests, did all the, you know, the what do you call them, incursions and stuff like that. But once you get that 1,000 gamer score out of the game, and whatever gamer score you get, the additional 500 or 1,500 for like the 3 DLC things, there is nothing else, but it's a game as a service, and you're still playing it. Maybe hours, something for the hours, not necessarily an achievement, but like a medal, like hardcore. You know, he has over 60 hours or over 600 hours or 6,000 hours.
Let's just give him a star rating in the game. You know, like Fuzzy be a 5-star rating, like he lives here.
Well, I have that in Forza Horizon right now. Like, I think I'm a level 5-star or a level 6-star, and without any boosting or any of that stuff, which right now I barely play. I just play to get the cars for the week. They usually have like 3 or 4 cars they give out each week, and it's like, all right, I'll do enough to get the car, and that's about it.
Quick question, Luca, about your preference as far as trophies. Is it a visual thing? Is it the trophies just make more sense? Like, what is it for you?
I just don't like numbers, dude. Math was my worst subject, man. Whenever I see numbers, I just get chills up my spine, man. I just can't do it.
Okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, like, that's more of a personal preference. I feel you, though. I mean, if you don't like numbers, I mean, I get it. I feel you on that, though. So, okay, cool. So do you have anything on that?
But I want to, like, so what if we split it up like what Fuzzy was talking about, and you actually have 2 different scores, one based on, you know, I guess achievement score, and then the other one would be a score for literally specifically online. like achievements that achieve an online achievement score. That way you could actually kind of gauge what kind of a player someone is just by looking at their gamer score.
Oh, that would be cool.
That's actually a pretty damn good idea. I didn't even consider that. That's why we have you on the show, man. See, that's exactly why you're here, for those good ideas. Since you're, I'm just playing. No,
I'm just saying, because there's always people that always play Call of Duty online, and you know, if you were to differentiate, you know, what achievements apply online and which ones apply to like campaign, over time, if you kind of divide the two scores, you would actually see, oh, this person's more of an online player, this person's more of a single player kind of person.
No, that it makes functional sense. I completely agree with you. I just never had that thought. That's pretty neat idea. So, okay. So, I mean, that was the last question. Looks like we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. Once again, you guys are fucking amazing here every single week on time or even early, most of you. I appreciate the continued support. Hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you have not already. It's been an amazing show. But before we wrap things up, I want to get to my guest of honor. Before you say anything, Luca, I appreciate you for hanging out with us this evening. Thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your weekend, hang out on the Shop Podcast. It's been a while, but I love having you around. Once again, one of my personal favorites as far as your show, the content you put out, how you run your show. I do greatly appreciate it. You know, it's hectic, but it's controlled chaos. That's what I call it, controlled chaos. And you guys have a lot of fun either way. That's what it's about anyway. And I can tell you guys have a lot of fun. So that all kind of that kind of attributed to you, because essentially you're the leader and you're able to make your show that way. So once again, as a fan, I appreciate what you do and thank you for hanging out with us. But let everybody know what's going on with you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. It's a little difficult to come through just because it's back-to-back shows, and I try not to do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, thanks so much for having me and the kind words. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with Centurion and Fuzzy. I almost said furry. Woo! Fuzzy. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. It's been great. You know, I always love talking to y'all. So thank you so much for having me, you guys. Like I said, catch me on Twitter and YouTube at the Ash and Luca.
Yeah, check her out. She's doing big things over there, man. So, no, but for real, go check the Scumcast out. All of the information is down in the description below. If you're a fan of the show, please go show her some love over there, man. She's awesome. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So, once again, just to reiterate, Luca, you're amazing. And thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. All right. So, my two compadres. Shout out to Stag, by the way. I know you over there. I saw you pop in the comments earlier. You popped out of the comments. I guess he missed Chris, that hot pocket he didn't get. But either way, let's go ahead and throw this over to you. Fuzz, appreciate you, man, every single week hanging out with us. Mr. Smooth Voice. Hey, Luca, we're trying to set up an ASMR channel for Fuzz's voice.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's a $1 million idea.
It really is. A lot of money in that.
Exactly. I'm dozing off over here. Fuzz is so smooth. It's like audio cognac. Like, it's so good. It's smooth, man. But anyway, Fuzz, we're gonna figure that ASMR, maybe an OnlyFans or something. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Thank you for us for being here, man, every single week, man. You're a big part of the show, man. Let everybody know what's cooking up with you, brother.
I just want to say thank you, Luca, for stopping by, and it's just always awesome talking to everyone about games and, you know, our hobby we always enjoy and stuff. But man, can't wait until next week. Oh boy, looking forward. But you can find me on Twitter, Fuzzy_Belvedere, on PSN, Fuzzy_Belvedere, Xbox Live, Fuzzy Space Belvedere. More than likely playing a racing game of some sort, whether it be GT Sport or Forza. But man, awesome talking games with you guys.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Once again, another big part of the show, man. Every week you're here providing information, everything you do to support the show, man. I greatly appreciate that personally. Let everybody know what's going on with you, brother.
Well, for starters, thank you to Luca for being here and giving me a name that I couldn't ever feel comfortable calling Fuzzy. Oh man, but I really do think it's a good thing for his channel. Think about like Fuzzy Belvedere. He leaves you feeling warm and fuzzy inside. No, I'm playing. Anyways, for anybody who wants to tune into my controlled chaos, be sure to check me out on my YouTube channel, Xbox Live, and Twitter at Centurion1307. You can also find me right here every Saturday night on the Shop Podcast and every Sunday night on TXR.
All right, man. And last but not least, your boy PTK Blam. Like I said, find me everywhere. PTK Blam on Twitter. All of the information is below. Once again, my compadres, their information is below as well. Please follow us. The link to the Shop Podcast. Shout out to BG4G Hub. They just revamped the website. Shout out to Tom and everybody that's working hard. All my friends over the pond, over the pond. Because I think that's how they say it. I'm sounding like an idiot.
Yep,
but anyway,
over there on the pond. Shit. No, they're probably
anyway, shout out to all my guys over there, BG4G. The link's down there if you guys want to check out the website. We do have a dedicated Shop Podcast page there. Please go check it out. Everybody that donates to the show, you guys are fucking amazing. Appreciate it. Once again, our guest of the hour, Luca, you're amazing. Catch us here next week, same time, same place. We got a brand new guest. I will let you guys know. I got the guest lined up for November, so I got it all knocked out while we were on that little hiatus. So we got some amazing guests lined up. Things are only getting better. So appreciate the continued support. We're out of here. Have a great rest of your weekend. Be safe. Wash your goddamn hands, and we're out of here, people. Peace
Bye.
out.
Later.